I make see again.
Hello and welcome to today's Team Talk. I am Matt Print from Fitness with Matt, and this is part 2 of my top 5 tips on how to eat well. So I always like to give you actionable and achievable tips that you can implement straight away. I'm not about making it complicated or unrealistic or faddy or quick fixes. I'm trying to give you some top tips just to help you along your journey. It's probably not going to be what you typically hear from people within the fitness industry or personal trainers. I have done both since 2010. Not personal training, I've done that for 5 years. But I've been in the industry for 10 years now. 11 years. 11 years. Geez, I've been in here a long time. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm here to offer you 5 top tips. So I've actually offered you 10 in total. Watch part 1 if you want, because there's some more tips in that. But my number 1 tip for today is to limit your empty calories. Empty calories. So what do I mean by this? I mean the calories in things that don't really give you much nutritional value. Because if you're trying to eat a bit healthier, maybe reduce your calorie intake, this is a really simple way to do that. So the food in alcohol, in soft drinks, you can instantly make the calorie content of these lower by choosing low calorie mixers, or by just limiting them altogether. Maybe if you are on a night out and you want to drink some, you just drink a little less. Maybe you mix it up with a few soft low calorie drinks or simply water just to keep you hydrated, because we all know alcohol dehydrates you, which is why you get hangovers and severe headaches. So another thing that might be empty calories would be something like sweets. Now I'm using the word limit, not cut out. So if you are sat watching a film or the TV or at the theatre, please don't eat sweets at the theatre. It's a theatre, it's not the cinema or TV at home. Anyway, that's a separate bugbear of mine. But yeah, if you're distracted and you just get through a bag of Haribo, other sweets are available, again, they're kind of empty calories. You're not going to be full up from them. So that's another way to limit your calorie intake. And another thing, as I've discussed, is mindless snacking. So trying not to be distracted while you're eating is a really good way to do that. And also portion control. So if you're going to have some ice cream, have it in a portion controlled separate bowl, not from the tub. If you're going to have some crisps from a larger bag, take a handful into a bowl. Okay, so limit empty calories. Number 2, we all need to increase our dietary fiber. So the fiber in what we eat. It aids digestion. It stabilizes our glucose level, so it's going to help to prevent type 2 diabetes because it slows down the digestion and absorption of sugars from food. Thirdly, it helps us to feel fuller for longer. So often things high in fiber are actually lower in calorie, so we can eat quite a lot of food and feel like we've eaten a lot without necessarily having consumed a lot of calories. And finally, evidence is showing that soluble dietary fiber can reduce blood cholesterol. So there's actually a lot of health benefits by having high fiber foods and increasing the fiber in our diets. So this brings me on to point number 3. Fill your plate with vegetables and fruit. These are naturally going to be higher in fiber. Another key thing to do with fruit and vegetable is to try and have as much variety as possible. Don't just stick to the same fruit and vegetable each week. Try and eat seasonally. It's going to taste better, it's going to be more affordable, and there's going to be less food waste. Also, try and focus on dark green leafy vegetables, or simply dark green, because they're rich in vitamins A, C, E, and K. They're high in lots of minerals and nutrients, and also lots of antioxidants in them. Also, as discussed, high in fiber. And a little bonus tip, as you know I like to throw them in, try and cook your vegetables with as little water as possible. So actually, the microwaves are a really good way to cook a lot of vegetables, because you can often put a little bit of water in, they kind of steam in the microwave. But of course, Google how to do that. I am not Gusto or other food resources. BBC Good Food's quite good. So, number 4, try to prepare most meals at home. because what they found when they did research, the shop bought versions of dishes you maybe might cook at home, like spaghetti bolognese, lasagna, they often have considerably higher calorie content when bought from the supermarket. They often are higher in sugar. A jar of Dolmio sauce, and I'm not afraid to shame them, a lot of sugar in it. I get it's convenient, but if you can, cook it at home, okay? I've actually got a video on the internet and on my Facebook, Fitness with Matt, on how to cook a simple tomato sauce. It takes like 5 to 6 minutes to make a super simple sauce. So that was a lot of S's. So just try as much as you can to prepare most meals at home. And I'm not saying don't have convenience food, because technically a bag of prepared salad is a convenience food. A bag of stir-fry vegetables is convenience food because it's been processed in a way, it's been prepared for you. So going for stuff like that to help you save time when cooking at home is brilliant. Look for those ways. Pre-cooked meat, pre-cooked prawns, all of these things can add fiber to your foods, but technically they're convenient still. Okay, so just try and prepare as much as you can at home, because then you can control how much sugar, how much salt goes into your food, and you know what's gone into it. But I get that for not everyone that's going to work. Right now, we have so many services like Gusto, HelloFresh, all those kind of meal prep services that might work for you. But I get that they have a slightly higher price tag. But if you can afford them and you're short on time, brilliant option there. Finally, number 5, everyday versus occasional. I always try and get this into my personal training clients and anyone I speak to when it comes to nutrition. It's what we do every day that counts. It's not what we do occasionally. We occasionally go on holiday, unless you're one of my clients who is retired and often on holiday. So if you go on holiday and you enjoy yourself a bit more and maybe you forget your usual way of eating, maybe you're a little bit more indulgent, you're not doing it every day, you're on holiday. So really try and nail your everyday eating, looking at ways to be nutritious, but still occasionally have those foods you enjoy and love that are maybe a little less nutritious, like chocolate, like crisps, like sausage rolls. You're allowed those things. Over-restricting these items are just going to lead you to want them more. It's like the red button syndrome. If you tell me I'm not allowed to press that red button, guess what? All I can think about doing is pressing that red button. It's the same with food. If you say you're not allowed this, you think about it more. Okay? Everything in moderation, including moderation. Think about being good, hate that word, but being a bit more controlled, shall we say, 80% of the time, then 20% of the time, just let your hair down a little. It's not good for your body to be consistently and constantly in a calorie deficit. Every now and then, it's good to give it a bit of a feast. But the issue comes when people come to me and they're like, I'm really good in the week, Monday to Friday, but then at the weekend it seems to go to pot. Well, keep the weekend still a bit in check, because what people can do is they can be really controlled with their calories in the week, and then when they get to the weekend they fully blow out, and this deficit they've been in the week has just been negated by what they've done at the weekend, because that tops it up. So overall they're not in a calorie deficit over a 7-day period. So just think about what you're doing there every day. So this is an example. You like 2 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee. You have 5 cups of coffee a day. That is 10 teaspoons of sugar in a day. They all have a calorie content. It's also increasing the sugar you're putting into your body. So how about trying having 1 teaspoon of sugar? Instantly, you have half the amount of sugar you're having over that day, halving the amount of calories. You could switch to a sweetener. You could switch to half and half, so it's half sugar, half sweetener. There's lots of products out there to help you with stuff like that. But the main thing I want to get into is it's not about all or nothing. It's not about over-restricting. It's about watching what you do every day, but also being in the mindset that occasionally you can have these things that are more indulgent and maybe deemed as bad, dirty, sinful foods. So yeah, I hope this makes sense to you all, and these top tips really do help. So number one, limit the empty calories you're having. Because often people are like, oh, I eat hardly anything, but then maybe you get home from work and you have a couple of glasses of wine. They are not calorie free. Number two, increasing the amount of fiber you have. So you can have whole meal options when it comes to pasta and bread if you're having that. You can have beans, pulses, but also increasing your fruit and veg. Which brings me on to number three, eat more fruit and vegetables. Number four, try and cook as much as you can from home. Number five, everyday versus occasional. Okay, so hope these tips have made sense. I hope you feel a little bit more empowered and a little bit more encouraged to give yourself a little bit of an easier ride when it comes to eating, because there's too much guilt and shame, and I am not keen on that. So please let me know your thoughts and feelings below. I realise my sleeves are quite distracting and I shouldn't have undone them, but here we are. There we are. So let me know your thoughts and feelings below. You can follow me on social media, Fitness with Matt on Facebook, Fitness with Matt 1 on Instagram, and we can carry on chatting on there. You can always see what I'm up to on there. Sometimes there's recipes, sometimes there's chats, inspirational posts, and things to help you with your health, fitness, and well-being. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon, I hope. Bye!
I make see again.